I made this 3/4 baggy pants and I wore it to church. A client saw it on me and then she made a order. So let me take you on a journey of this comfortable and stylish baggy pants. So let's go into it. So what I used for her, I used 2 yards and 12 inches Ankara fabric for her. I'm going to be using this tiny elastic, my chalk, and then my pattern master. So I folded my fabric into 2. We are going to be cutting the front piece of this baggy shorts first. So I'm going to be folding using her hip measurement, and I added 4.5 inches because it's going to be baggy. Her hip measurement is 40. I divided it by 4 and that is 10, and I added 4.5 inches for ease allowance. So I marked my starting line there. So from my starting line I came down by 1/2 inch. I'm going to do that soon. There I'm going to be adding band, so I wanted to just take away my band from there. So I came down by 1/2 inch from that starting line. The reason I'm coming down by 1/2 inch is for joining my band to my short. This 3/4 short is really trending and I got a lot of compliments in church. So I came up by 2 inches for my band allowance. So from there I measured our waist to hip, which is 9 inches. So go ahead and measure your client's own or your own if you are making for yourself. So for our crouch I used 12 inches. I divided our hip measurement by 4 into 4, right, and then I added 2 inches allowance. Like I mentioned earlier, our hip measurement is 40 divided by 4, that's 10. I added 2 inches allowance for his, since it is not a fitted pant, it is baggy short, so you want it to be really free, but don't make it extremely free so that the fitting will still be there. So from there I am marking the full length. I think I made use of 40 inches for our full length. Sorry, my camera is not capturing that part. I did not know. So on the hip line I am going to take a hip measurement divided by 4 there, and I'm going to add extra 2 inches to it. So I measured 12 inches like that on that hip line, on the waist line, and then on the crouch line. So for the crouch extension I divided a hip measurement by 4 and then I divided it again into 4, so that gave me 2.5 inches. So I am measuring what I have on my crouch length, and then I am taking it on my full length as well. So on the waistline, which is my starting line, I came in by 1 inch just to give it a little bit of curve. I don't want it to be just all straight, so I want a little bit of curve at that waist part. And then I am just going to measure. I will just keep marking that 1 inch all the way down, just to give this short a little bit of curve right there. So what I have taken there, I'm just going to replace it. So my crouch length, I am just adding 1/2 inch to join both the front crouch together, because I really don't want any shortage. I just want this pants to be baggy, because she said she just wants it baggy. So that which I have taken at the waist, that 1 inch, and then to the full length, I just replaced it at that place, because like my client wants, she wanted a baggy short. So go ahead and cut your own. If you have any difficulty, whatever you don't understand, please let me know in the comment section. I'll be there to provide answers to every of your questions. So go ahead and cut it. This is very simple, it's just a DIY. It is so easy to make. You can make a lot of this and then sell it out, because it is trending. Everybody wants to wear baggy pants, baggy shorts. So after that, I am going to cut the back part. So still fold your fabric into 2. Remember that your back part is always bigger than your front, because there is butts there. You need to add excess allowance for the back piece, so please make sure you have enough fabric for this. So at the crotch line, that is where I'm going to be adding my allowance. I don't need to add again to the side. I'm just going to cut exactly what I have on the front side on the back side as well. In this place, I plan to use both rice, but I later changed my mind. I did not later use it, although I drafted it and I cut it out, but I later cut it off camera. So for my crotch extension, I used 2.5 inches. So if you are doing a straight pant, just connect it back to that starting point of the waistline. But since it is baggy, I just kept on maintaining the allowance. I came from the crotch extension upwards. So for the allowance, for stitching allowance and also for back ease, I used 2 inches. So that is what I am marking over there. So go ahead and mark 2 inches, or if you are making for a bigger size, please, you can use 2.5 inches, you can use 3 inches. So for the butt rise, that is what we are seeing over there. I plan to use it, but I later cut it off. Since it's not going to be a fitted pant, it is baggy, so I don't see any reason using a butt rise there. So after I am done cutting the back piece, I went ahead to cut my pocket. I was already cutting the pocket there, and I noticed that my camera is not even capturing that. I am so sorry about that. So go ahead and cut your pocket the way you know how to cut it. So this is me cutting it the way I want to cut my pocket. So I have cut both the left and the right pocket together over there, and I'm just going to give it a little bit of shape at the down part. So after that, I will proceed to join the crotch part of the front piece and the back piece together, and then I'm going to show you how to fix your pocket. So go ahead and join both the front crotch together and also the back crotch as well. So it is time to fix our pocket at the side of this my short. After joining your crotch at the side, come down by 1.5 inches. For me, remember that I came down by 1/2 inch for joining the band with the short. So from that 1/2 inch, go ahead and come down by 1.5 inches, because that is where our pocket is going to be starting from. So I have done that off camera. So I am placing my pocket right side facing each other with the front piece, and then I am going to join it. So for the other side, I am just going to go ahead and join it at the back as well. So I have gone ahead to join my pocket. This is how my pocket is looking right now. It is time for us to join the sides together and also the crotch. So I'm going to be using 1 inch to join my short, because we have excess allowance already. So before you get to the hem, go ahead and fold the hem of your short. I folded mine before I join it completely. So and when you are joining your crotch, please make sure that the lines are facing each other. I'll go ahead and join this off camera and show you the outcome. So after this, I have joined this. Before you turn it over, go ahead and weave it. I don't have a weaving machine yet. I will just go and weave outside. So at the hem, I already hem my short. So see how this short is looking already. We have not even fixed the band. It is looking beautiful. So now it is time to cut our band. Go ahead and measure round your waist. So for my own waist, I have about 45 inches, and then I added 1 inch extra allowance, and the 1 inch extra allowance I am going to explain later. So I have gone ahead to cut my own band, and I am just feeling this short. I just love the outcome. So now the 1 inch that I said you should leave is for joining at the center. Why do we need to join at the center? Because this pant is going to have a drawstring, like a rope I said drawstring. So at that 1 inch, that is where you are going to be imputing your rope. So I am measuring what I have there. I think I have about 5 inches there, and I divided into 2, that is 2.5 inches, right? And then that 2.5 inches, I divided it into 2 again, just to get the midpoint of this my band. So immediately I got the midpoint, can you see I have 2 chalks there, one at the upper part and then one at the lower part. So you are going to stitch from the beginning of that line and stop at the end of that line. Then you leave that space, and then from there you just continue and sew all the way down. Don't forget to back stitch when you get to the end of that one of the lines, like the first line, that line, and then the second line, back stitch before you sew to the end. So go ahead and do that. I am going to do that off camera, and I'm going to show you how it looks. So this is it over here. Can you see? This is a closer view of what I'm trying to tell you. I later changed my mind, and from the beginning I just sew 1.5 quarter rather, and then I left about 1.25 inches allowance, and then from there I sew all the way down. So now I am folding it into 2 so that you can see that is the opening where our band, where our elastic and also our rope is going to come out from. If you do not do this, there's no way you'll be able to pass through your rope and also your elastic. Remember that we are using the tiny elastic. So I'm just trying to measure the length of my band. I have 5 inches there. I did not mention it earlier. So I used 5 inches for the length of my band, and then now it is time to fix it. I have fixed mine, and then this is the outcome. Can you see that? This is what we have there. That is the opening where your rope is going to come out from, and also how you are going to pass through your elastic. So now for the elastic, use your waist measurement and just remove 4 inches from it. So before we pass through our elastic, we need to create casing for it, because we are not using the bigger elastic. If it is the bigger elastic, by the time you are joining your band, just leave about 2 inches space, and then you can pass it through from there. But now we are not using the bigger elastic. This is the tiny elastic. We need to create a casing for it. So from your opening, leave about 1/2 inch and sew from the right to the left, up and down. This is what I'm trying to say. From the beginning of your band, measured about 1/2 inch or 1.25 inch and stitch around the band. Leave a little space before you get to that opening that we created. Leave a little space. I am going to do it and show you what I was trying to say. So I'm going to stitch it upwards, and also at the down part I will measure 1/4 inch and stitch round as well. So we are going to be having the middle space that our rope is just going to come out from. So I'm just going to go and stitch first and then show you. So can you guys see this? Can you see what I'm trying to say? The opening at the center is still there, but at the upper part I have to stitch so that we will be able to pass through our elastic. If you stitch it completely, you will not be able to pass through your elastic. Can you see what I'm trying to show you there? That is where you are going to pass your elastic through. So now go ahead and cut your elastic. Remove 4 inches from your client's waist, and whatever you have left, use it to cut your elastic. So I have gone ahead and I have passed through the elastic to the first part of our stitching. So I'm just going to cut the second one and then pass it through. I just want to teach you how to pass it through into your short. So I'm going to be using broom for my own. Some people use safety pin. I don't know how to use safety pin. I've tried it severally and it's not always coming out. So if you have the trick, please kindly let me know. Teach me, I'm ready to learn. So from that opening for the rope, I am going to just pass it through because we have a little bit of space before we get to that rope opening. That is why we are able to pass it through. If you stitch from that side to the rope side, you will not be able to pass through your elastic. So I am done passing through this, and then I'm just going to go and stitch it. Please make sure that you back stitch very well, so that your elastic is not going to lose out easily. So this is it. See what we have here. This is already looking like a bigger elastic, but it is a tiny elastic. So after that, we are going to just stitch it finish, complete the stitching. Can you see? Complete the stitching, and then we are good to go. So we are going to just use the remaining space to pass through our rope. So go ahead and cut your rope. I don't know the length I used, I've forgotten the length, but just use a normal length that you feel that is going to be enough for your client. Then pass it through that rope opening, and this is what we have here. I love the finished work, and it looks so beautiful to behold. So this baggy pant is so comfortable, it is stylish, it is trending. You can make a lot of it and sell it out. Thank you all for watching. I'm going to see you in my next video. Bye.